right now because we have a pretty cool guest lineup right now. So we're gonna jump right into it with our first guest diner tonight, who's my big boss right on the screen, Mayor William Peduto. How are you doing today?
Hey, Dwayne, it's great to see you. How have you been, by the way?
It's feel like one long day so far, with all of everything going on, but I've been fine. Fine.
Good,
And
good.
yourself?
I got to tell you, I've had better summers.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. So we're going to get into, just a few personal questions. Well, a personal question really, since this is a food theme right now, just to have a little bit of interaction. As a child, if you had a favorite meal or a favorite family dinner, what would you say that would be?
My mom used to make oxtail soup, and it would take like 2 days to make, where you get that bone and you just simmer it for like 2 days, and it would get all the marrow out of it, and then pastina and other types of vegetables. And as a kid, always growing up, that was my favorite. But I also had one that wasn't my favorite, but I grew to love, and now I really miss. And my grandfather used to make it, and it's called bacala, and it's dried cod. Same thing. You have to like let it soak for a couple of days, and then you cook it, and you make it into a stew with tomatoes and onions and carrots and celery. And my grandfather used to buy the cheap cod down at Woolies, which meant it had the bones in it. And I remember my parents would tell me that if I ate the bones, I'd die. So it's like, why are you feeding me food that's going to kill me? As a kid, I hated it. And as I grew older, I really, really loved it. And I miss my grandfather's recipe.
Gotcha. Yeah, both meals sound pretty involved. I'm pretty, well, I like, my mom used to make me jambalaya a lot, which was, it was mainly prepackaged. I mean, she would cook all the time, but that happened to be my favorite meal for whatever reason. I'll eat it to this day still. So we'll shift gears a little bit now, since we already mentioned the COVID pandemic so far in my intro. I think we all really know things have been pretty tricky during this pandemic. Can you share a little bit about how you as yourself is coping with all of this, and more broadly, what the city has been focused on for the residents during this time, during this pandemic?
Yeah, for personal purposes, I mean, I kind of mix it up a little bit. I'll go and I'll do a lot of shopping, and I'll spend some time doing some cooking and eating at home. And then I'll spend a little bit of time going out and sort of mixing that up. And then my third option is prepared meals, which I have delivered to my house, and I'll sort of live off of that for a while. But I wait until I get sick of one of them before going to the other. I don't have it like as a series of all three at the same time. So right now I'm on the prepared meal side of it, and living off of those for the past couple of weeks. On the work side, I have to get into the building. I just can't sit at home. It drives me crazy. So I'm in the office at least 3 times or 4 times a week, and working out of the office. I try to keep the schedule busiest during those days. And then when I'm at home, I'm pretty much doing my business right here in my dining room, working off of this computer, and doing a lot of work off of the phone. I've found our office has been really productive, and it's really fun to see. And I love seeing the creativity of city workers, like the folks in parks that are putting together not just this program, but who have fed over 50,000 children and seniors in our city through this pandemic. We never had a program to feed people before. And you guys have just knocked it out of the park. And the partnerships that you've been creating, and just watching that happen across the board, department after department, where city workers have taken such pride in helping our residents and creating programs that the city never even offered before.
So thank you for that acknowledgement too. I know, I appreciate it, and, our staff as well, for sure. So once again, Mayor, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's definitely been nice chatting with you. I'm sure I'll be running into you at some point, So next, we're just going to pivot a little bit now. We're going to start to meet some of our chefs that have created tonight's dinner. But before we, move on, is there anything else that you would like to say to, our viewers and audience that are watching right now?
Yeah, just, we're in a global pandemic. I mean, this is real. There's things that we all have to do in order to be able to get through it together, and we will get through it. The sacrifices that are being asked of us are not that great compared to what other generations have sacrificed before for us. And if we treat one another with respect and compassion, we'll wash our hands, we'll keep a safe distance, and we'll wear a mask. And eventually we'll get back to normal where we can all be together once again. So to Pittsburghers, thank you for working to help your neighbors, and let's get through this and let's get back to normal sooner so that we can always know what year it was when we look at the pictures with us wearing masks.
Exactly. Thank you. Much appreciated, Mayor.
All right. You take care, Dwayne. Good to see you.
Well, so now, I'm introduced Brooke Broadhurst.